In today's video, I'm going to share with you the things that you should be looking for to buy in the month of August. And we're going to shop my freezer, pull some things out, make a meal with. This video is jam-packed, so if you need motivation to prep, freeze, build up your pantry, get some ideas, this video is for you. For the month of August, here are my picks of what is best in season to get right now. So for vegetables, look for, of course, corn on the cob, cucumbers, eggplant, green beans, lettuce, tomatoes, avocados, beets, bell peppers, carrots, potatoes. Some are squash like zucchini. We're starting to see the start of apples. Along with apples, start looking for pears. Right now, cherries are in season. Red and green grapes, mangoes, but look for apricots, more pitted fruit like nectarines, peaches, plums, and of course berries. We have our blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries. Right now, melons are the peak of their flavor. So there's watermelon and cantaloupe, honeydew. So right now, take advantage of all the abundance of summer produce. If you're not into canning and preserving that way, you can dehydrate. We like to freeze dry. So recently we were at Sam's Club and we picked up some blueberries and blackberries. So instead of throwing them in our freezer, we're going to use our freeze dryer so we can eat them years down the road. And these blackberries are so big and plump. We haven't freeze dried blackberries yet, so I'm really excited to see how this goes. We've done it with raspberries and they turned out beautiful, but freeze dried blueberry, yum. Okay, we're examining these and the blueberries did a great job. They're freeze dried all the way through, but look at these blackberries. I am noticing that some of them are not done all the way, but look at the color. So what I am doing now is using my jar sealer to seal up these jars of blueberries. I can put them in our Mylar bags and we can have down the road, but right now I want blueberries for snacking and I'm just gonna put them in these mason jars. I can open them up when I wanna use them, snack on them, and then seal them up again so that way moisture doesn't hit them and then they end up going bad. So with these blackberries, a lot of them were a hit and miss, but even though the blackberries weren't fully done, the ones that were delicious. What I'm gonna do to save time and energy is I'm gonna bag these up. They'll start moistening up in the refrigerator. But what ended up happening was my daughter Shaylee ended up making some yummy blackberry shakes, you guys. I wish I captured them on video for you. They were delicious. So the blackberries didn't go to waste. You could even get things prepped ready for your freezer. Right now, tomatoes are bursting. You can can those. I've even froze whole tomatoes. I washed them up, put them in a bag, threw them in the freezer, and used them later in the year. My tomatoes are fully frozen, but at this point, you could just keep storing it like this in your freezer. Put them in big Ziploc bags and put them in your freezer. That way, if you don't have a food saver, go for it. It'll work great for you. So I'm just gonna fill this up. Didn't wanna put the raw tomatoes in because it'll get squished. Nice hard tomatoes would do the trick. So I pulled out a packet of tomatoes that I froze. So I put them in a bowl of really cold water. They're all thawed out. But as I put them in my pot, I'm gonna easily be able to peel the skin off of these. And I'm just gonna come in with my knife and I'm just gonna take the little stem part off and then we're gonna mush them up. You could also do this process in your slow cooker as well. One tip I have for you is to strain it so you can get all the seeds and little bits out and you'll have a nice smooth consistency. You can make sauces, you can make soups with that. The new school year is approaching. Some of us are already in the swing of school. It's a great time to stock up on lunchbox essentials. Even if you don't have kids, there's some great deals out right now. Things like granola bars, fruit cups, peanut butter, jelly, lunch meats, fruit snacks, Lunchables, juice boxes, pudding, and even yogurt. Stock up on those back to school breakfast items. Cereals, oatmeal, and pancake mixes. And also, we are fast approaching Labor Day, so there are going to be some great sales right now. So keep your eye out. You're gonna be able to stock your shelves up with condiments, meats, and some great snack items like chips and crackers that you can put on your shelf to have for the holiday season. So start thinking ahead. What do you have planned in the next coming months? What do you have that you're gonna have get-togethers for? I know we've got, of course, Labor Day coming up. We have Halloween parties. We have Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, Christmas. So what can you snag during these sales cycles to put on your shelves so you're able to shop your shelves later for all your upcoming events. In the comments, let me know what have you been working on for your pantry this month. This was a slow month for grocery shopping for us. I had one small haul this month. The purpose of the haul was to grab some ingredients for a dinner that we went to at a friend's house. I needed to bring some chopped up lettuce and tomatoes, and I was making strawberry shortcake cheesecake dessert. The last day of July, Derek and I went to Sam's Club, and we stocked up on quite a bit of vegetables and protein. I did share that haul with you. I'll leave that video in the description below. And just last week, I shopped at Costco, and that was a big haul. You'll see that on an upcoming video. In the beginning of the month, I headed down south from us, and I always stop by our favorite farmers markets when they're open. I wanted to see what they had going on, see what we can use in the upcoming menu plan, and what I could freeze. Okay, we're at Wall Brothers Orchard Store, their barn. It is so cute in here. They have fresh produce like this squash and zucchini. Oh, tomatoes. Oh, look at these peaches. They're known for their peach shakes, so I'm definitely gonna get one before I leave. This is the main reason why I came here, to grab their apple slices. They have regular, cinnamon, but my favorite and my son's favorite is these sour ones. It's kind of like having a Sour Patch Kid. They're so good. Their homemade fudge is delicious. My favorite is the peanut butter cup. I love how they put these little morsels of chocolate around the edge. I'm telling you guys, once you taste this, it's hard to stop eating it. It's so good. Here's my little haul from the first farmer's market. It ended up being $17. So I snagged about 6 tomatoes, 1 red onion, 6 jalapenos, and a dozen of ears of corn. And I've been adding things to my freezer, so let me share with you what I've been up to. So I'm gonna prep this corn for the freezer. I'm chopping off all the corn off the cob, getting it into a big gallon Ziploc freezer bag, and popping it in the freezer. That way, if I need a cup or 2 of corn for any recipe, I could just scoop it out. It's so great having yummy, sweet summer corn in the freezer ready for you for the whole year. And I'll be doing this process one more time. That way we're stocked up with this yummy sweet corn. I am holding on to these cobs and putting them in the freezer because shortly I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make your own mock Great Depression honey using the corn. So with our grapes from our recent grocery hauls, we ended up washing up, of course eating half of them because they were so crispy and yummy, and then throwing the other half in the freezer to have a nice cold treat. From our freezer, I thawed out 2 pounds of ground beef. Dinner one night, my son wanted spaghetti and meatballs. I'll leave my meatball recipe for you down below. This night I shopped our shelves and I grabbed some spaghetti sauce from a jar, but we made this a quick meal. I took half the meat mixture, cooked the meatballs in the sauce, and then made some more meatballs to add to the freezer. So later in the month, when we want to have pasta and meatballs again, I have the meatballs already made. I don't have to take everything back out. So I ended up putting them on a baking sheet with some wax paper. With the leftover ground beef, I ended up making about 11 meatballs. I laid this tray in our deep freezer and let it freeze for a couple of hours. Then I took them out and bagged them up. I could have put them in a plastic container or sealed them up really good with our food saver, but on the menu we have these meatballs again in the next couple of weeks, so I just put them in a Ziploc bag. Making meatballs ahead of time is one of my favorite things to do. We absolutely love my mom's meatball recipe. Then one night for dinner, I made shepherd's pie, and shepherd's pie is one of our go-to meals that we always have the ingredients on our shelves and in our freezer. So for dinner that night, I made 1 pan for us, and then I made a small one to add to the freezer. This size is perfect for just Derek and the kids when I'm out and I'm not joining them for dinner. We haven't had shepherd's pie in a while, and the family really enjoyed having it again. So I have all my canning items out. I'm gonna be washing things. I'm prepping because in the next week or so, I'm gonna be canning, freezing. So I'll be working with tomatoes and peaches again. Oh my gosh. I have a lot that I'm putting on my list, and we'll see what I'm able to do. But I definitely want to get some things freeze-dried, things put in the freezer, and preserving some things and getting them on the shelf. But we're also going through and eating and menu planning from what I already have in the freezer to use those things up so then I can restock with fresher items. We've been eating a lot from our freezer. So I thawed out a bag of chicken thighs. So now I'm gonna marinate it with this Lori's teriyaki with pineapple juice. And then after a little while of them marinating, we'll get them on the grill. From the freezer, I have these peach slices that I ended up bagging last year. So I'm going to make a peach crisp. Yum. Oh, I can't wait to have this. Let me share with you how I made the peach crisp. Okay, I have a little over 4 cups of peaches in here. Vanilla, cornstarch. I have some lemon juice here. Probably about a teaspoon, and I'm gonna be guessing here. Sure. Ha! We're gonna do a little bit of lemon juice, half full, and then some cornstarch, 2 tablespoons. That sounds good to me. I'm gonna give this a mix. Okay, so now you can see that it's coated good, so when it starts cooking and lets out the juices, we'll get thick. For the topping, for that nice crumble, you need 2 cups of flour and then 2 cups of firmly packed brown sugar. This is the best crust, like crumble crisp I've ever had, seriously. All right, so grab your oats. We're gonna use old-fashioned oats, and you're going to need a cup of this. You're gonna need some nutmeg and cinnamon. So for cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon, but I do a little more than that. Probably about 1/2 teaspoon and then another 1/4. And then for the nutmeg, it's 1/8 teaspoon, but I ignore that as well, and we just do 1/4. Okay, we're gonna break this up. You gotta melt a cup of butter. So I have like half salted, half not. All right, this is looking good. It smells good. Oh yeah. Okay, if I end up having too much topping, we'll just make another one and have it for later. How about that? I already have my oven at like 375 degrees, and I think we're gonna bake this for 30 minutes, and then we'll go from there. And we're gonna let it completely cool so that the juices thicken. Okay, let me tell you what happened to the top of this. I decided to give it a little more crisp after it was done, so I put it under the broiler and I forgot about it. It was fine. We ended up eating it all. Like, it went fast. We added some ice cream and little whipped topping. It was delicious. So on our smoker, we slow grilled these chicken thighs. They turned out so good. I made a macaroni salad, cut up a watermelon we had, and we had some corn from that farmer's market. Yum. If you're also trying to work on your long-term food storage, here's some of the things that you could stock up for the month of August. Stock up on some canned items like canned vegetables, fruit, beef, and tuna. Also some freeze-dried items like fruit and vegetables. Those can last 25 or more years on your shelf. Also some basic items like rice, sugar, salt, dry milk, and of course water. If you want to start working on your long-term food storage and have things ready for you, but you don't know what to stock up on, well, I have a whole playlist for you where I lay it out for a whole year, January through December, what you should look for and stock up each month. It's baby steps. So pick and choose a few from each month, and that is getting you one step ahead to start having long-term food storage. And if you want to know my 10 mistakes that you might be making right now while at the grocery store, click on this video here. I'll meet you over there. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye.